Hey, you guys, welcome back to part 2 of finding great dupes for very popular fragrances on the market. The first video was strictly Kylie. This second video is going to be very popular designer and niche fragrances. Some are new to the channel. The rest of them I've talked about, but not a lot. And then some I've talked about as ad nauseum, so I won't take too long with those ones. So if you are interested to see some great alternatives to these popular, viral, very expensive fragrances, please keep on watching. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. I do hope you consider subscribing. We have lots of fun over here and we smell good too. I have a goal of reaching 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I do hope you consider subscribing and that you are enjoying the content enough to want to be a part of the family, okay? And if you are returning, hey girl. All right, let's get right into the video. Up first, this is no stranger to the channel, which is why I'm putting her first. You can see I have a great dent in this bottle. I love this fragrance. There is vanilla, as well as a very prominent lavender note that either turns you on or turns you off. For me, it's on. I enjoy this. Not a huge fan of the intense version, but I do have two really good alternative options for Burberry Goddess. Up first, we have Athena by Alhambra. This is also a very vanillic fragrance. It is just as sweet and vanilla dominant as Burberry Goddess is. This opens up a little alcohol-y to me. I do need to let it dry down, but once it does, it becomes very sweet and it mimics the fragrance very well. I don't smell a ton of lavender in here. So if you are someone that didn't like the lavender note in Burberry Goddess, this might be an option for you. This might be a great dupe for you. Now, I will say for me, this has not fully developed. I will say that it has gotten a little closer to Burberry since I have gotten the perfume, but I have gotten several comments in my videos that people prefer Athena over Angham. They prefer Athena over Goddess. They have this, they love it. It came out the bottle, pumping and thumping, and that is fantastic. For me, she still has a little bit of ways to go, but I would say that if you have this, you don't necessarily need Goddess. You don't. You really don't. This gives you the feels. Probably not the most longevity as Goddess would, but it's going to definitely give you all of the feels. So this is a good dupe. This second one is Angham by Lattafa. This, to me, out of the bottle, was closer to Burberry Goddess. I get the closer scents to the vanilla. It smells very similar. There's a creaminess here as well. You do get more of the lavender, in my opinion, than you do in Athena. So that may be something to consider. But I will say that this is also very close. So if you don't have the original, you are just fine with this. There's no need to go out and spend the money. In the air, nobody's gonna know. Yeah, this is really close to me. In my humble opinion, I prefer Angham over Athena. And it could just be my bottle because I've had people tell me that they have both. And like I said, they prefer Athena. But these are two very good inspired fragrances for Burberry Goddess, which is a vanilla bomb, a vanilla dominating fragrance. At this point, I have all three, so I need to get spraying so that I can use this during the cooler months, because I do think that they will perform very well. So this is Angham by Lattafa, Athena by Alhambra, which are, in my opinion, two really good alternative options to Burberry Goddess if you are on the market and don't want to spend that coin. So up next, I actually got an official sample of the Gris Charnel from BDK. I know I have referenced a dupe for this fragrance several times on my channel, but it's only been based upon me spraying it and my memory and all of the things. So I have sprayed this on my skin. I've sprayed it in the store several times, but you know, I just have it now to put it really side by side on camera for you guys. So the fragrance Gris Charnel is a woody, warm, spicy fragrance that has a prominent tea note. Let me read to you the notes of Gris Charnel. So there's cardamom, fig, and black tea. In the top, in the mid, there's iris and bourbon vetiver. In the base, there's sandalwood and tonka bean. This is a very, very bright, citrus, beautiful fragrance. It almost a little bit smells like sunshine. Like, it kind of makes me smile when I smell it. And I think it's definitely the combination of the fig, the cardamom, and the tea. This is a freshie. It's something that I feel like is clean girl aesthetic, white t-shirt, white collared shirt, spring day. I mean, really, you could wear it anytime, but to me, this screams spring when the air is just blowing and, you know, it's just gives me effervescent vibes. I will say that some people feel like it doesn't last that long, which is some comments I have to say about the alternative, but I've heard that the X-Straight version do what she came to do. She do what she need to do. But this is Gris Charnel by BDK. The inspired fragrance is Liam by Lattafa. A very similar note breakdown. So there's cardamom, fig, black tea at the top, iris, vetiver, and labdamen in the mid here. There's vanilla, sandalwood, tonka, and patchouli listed in this fragrance. So this fragrance has a little bit more depth to it, and I don't know if it's the labdamen or patchouli that's listed here, but it doesn't pop off this tester card as light and airy as Gris Charnel, Gris Charnel did. Now, don't get me wrong, it is giving all of the same vibes. Like, who is going to know? Like, I probably will never buy Gris Charnel by BDK because of this. I may test the X-Straight and see how I feel about that, if it's giving me difference enough. But in my opinion, $24.99 on Amazon is going to give you exactly what you need. As far as my wearing experience with this, it's been about the same, to be quite honest. This definitely has longer longevity. I sprayed it on skin. I got about 4 hours from Gris Charnel, and I want to say I got about 7 to 8 hours out of this fragrance. So I don't see the need to spend the extra money unless that's just your preference to have the original, but the Inspire fragrance will do. She will do just fine. She's going to last longer, and she's going to give you all the vibes. Now, I think that the fact that the BDK Gris Charnel smells a little more light and airy might lend itself to why it doesn't last as long. But this is good for me. Liam doing what she needs to do. She providing the fig note, the tea note, the cardamom note, and she's giving me fresh spring vibes. Okay, so this is Liam by Lattafa. Up next is Altair by Parfums de Marly. This is a very vanillic fragrance. It's warm, it's spicy, it's woodsy, it's all of the things. This is part of the male line for Parfums de Marly, but this is a beloved fragrance by all. Women love this, they love it down. I think this is a great fragrance. I have been wearing this and it's going with me on my ski trip, okay? This fragrance is definitely a complex but easy to love vanilla. So it's definitely, like I said, unisex. It's not super sweet to where, you know, a guy is going to feel like he might be wearing a girly fragrance. And it definitely doesn't have those masculine vibes to where a woman is going to be like, you know, a girly girl woman will be like, that's just a little too much for me. Like, it literally sits perfectly in the middle. There's a little bit of bergamot in here, which kind of cuts through all of those heavier notes like a gaiac would, like a cinnamon, a cardamom. This is fantastic. I recommend you try this. Totally off subject, but my Parfums de Marly SA sprayed this and Cassili together. Chef's kiss. Did y'all know Bath and Body Works was out here trying to smell like Parfums de Marly? This is close. It's close. Now, definitely longevity is not there. And the complexity of the fragrance is not there. But the subtle nuances and the general scent family, it's there. It is absolutely there. It's crazy. Like, you get the cardamom, you get the vanilla, you get the cinnamon, like, it's there. You put this on, they have a body lotion for it, put this on, and you might be tricking the girls. You're only gonna be able to trick them for about 2 hours, but you might be tricking the girls, okay? This also has a fresher take to it. So when I'm smelling it and when I wore it on skin, it's lighter for sure. It's not as heavy and dense. But it's giving the vibes, you guys. It is definitely giving the vibes. So I applaud Bath and Body Works for, you know, trying it. But I would say it's a success because, you know, Bath and Body Works is, you know, not necessarily a refined type of fragrance house. But for them to kind of mimic this fragrance and, you know, get a decent dupe, I would say round of applause. Round of applause for Bath and Body Works. This is Vanilla Romance. Up next is Liquid Brawn by Fragrance World. Now, this fragrance is definitely close. Close if I've ever seen close. So the note breakdown is very similar. There's cinnamon, orange blossom, cardamom, and bergamot at the top. Bourbon, vanilla, elemi in the mid, and in the base there's praline, ambroxan, musk, and gaiac wood. This is really, really, really close, guys. It's creamy. It's spicy. It has that cinnamon note. Cardamom for sure. And it's vanilla heavy. It's vanilla heavy. I want to say these ones are a little bit on the pricier side when it comes to these inspired fragrances. I want to say this is probably around $70 the last time I looked and seen. And the Vanilla Romance from Bath and Body Works, I want to say was 50. If 40 or 50 is what I paid. I paid on sale. I don't buy full price. Fragrance World did an amazing job with this inspired fragrance of Parfums de Marly Altaire. This fragrance is definitely giving me all of the same vibes. Like, the wearing experience was dag near the same. I will say that there is a little bit more of a richness when it comes to Parfums de Marly, a little bit more of a thickness and heaviness in the wearing experience. But aside from that, they smell the same. They smell the same. If you are trying to decide between under 100 and a bottle of the Parfums de Marly that's multiple hundreds, I'd say go with Fragrance World. You will not go wrong. I want to say I promise you, but I don't want you to come for me. These last three are pretty beloved fragrances. A couple of them might be controversial, so I am going to tread lightly. Up next is our beloved Guidance by Amouage. This has a cult following. This is top 10 for life for a lot of people. I absolutely love this fragrance. I was not in love when I first smelled it, but she quickly shot to the top of the list. This has a very prominent pear note at the top, which can either be very screechy for some people, very off-putting. There's also hazelnut and olibanum in the top. In the mid, there's osmanthus, saffron, which is very airy. It gives it an airy quality. There's also sandalwood, vanilla, akigala wood, ambergris, and labdamen in the base. This is a phenomenal fragrance. I remember when I was wearing this one time, a lady in the grocery store said, "You smell lovely." And I don't know, it's something about being complimented by other women that just takes me to another place. Like, I felt so pretty, right? But at either rate, love her. Absolutely love her. I have a 5 ml sample of Babycat Al-Asar by Paris Corner. This fragrance has the exact same note breakdown as Guidance on Fragrantica. There's not a note different. It's not placed in a different note structure. It is the exact same. Now, with regards to Babycat Al-Asar, the wearing experience is a little bit different. Okay, when you spray them in the air, you're definitely getting the same vibes, but they of course dissipate quickly because it's not attached to anything. Now, on these cards, it opens up very alcoholic. This fragrance has a very, very alcohol opening, in my opinion. It takes a couple minutes to subside, but it smells a little unrefined. It smells a little bit unrefined. It's a little sharper, in my opinion. Guidance is a little creamier. It's smoother. Like, you feel like you smell the quality in Guidance. So therefore, you can smell the lesser in something else. And I feel like I smell that here. I would say Paris Corner did a decent job on trying to dupe Guidance, but I don't think there is duping amouage. Like, the fragrances are so complex. But I would say, like, if Guidance came out with a body spray, this is what it would smell like. Like, you get the same vibes, but it doesn't last as long. It's not as smooth. It's a little sharper. It's a little more alcoholic, which a body spray typically is. But in the air, it kind of just still smells the same. Now, on skin, for me, I feel like I smelled, of course, the alcohol. The pear was a little more prominent in Babycat Al-Asar. But with Guidance, it's the hazelnut. The hazelnut is a loud projector for me, and it's loud and it projects throughout the entire wearing experience on my skin. I've said that several times. It's been the case as I've been testing these two together. So I would say this is a good try. It's a good try for sure. This, I would equate it to if Guidance made a body spray. So these are not the same, but this is in the same vein, if you will. You're not going to get the same longevity whatsoever. This is going to last all day, all night, the next day, sometimes the next week. If you don't want to shell out the $380 for her, she'll do, she will do. Just know that you will not have the same wearing experience as you have with Guidance. But she'll do. She'll absolutely do for the moment, for the couple of hours. So this is Paris Corner's attempt at Guidance, which I would say not necessarily a dupe, maybe like a knockoff body spray. And this is Babycat Al-Asar, if I said that correctly. Okay, so this next one is the one I feel like everybody has been waiting for. A lot of people have talked about. This is the one that I'm waiting for. Like, it took me a while to put this video together because I was waiting on the decant for this particular one the longest. I needed to test it out on my skin and, come up with my thoughts. But this is my decant of a Babycat by YSL. I have had Babycat. I've talked about it ad nauseum on this channel. So I do want to give it a break, but I'm going to give it a thorough explanation compared to the original, because this is my first time having the original. And I also have found another inspired fragrance for Babycat. So I'm going to compare the two inspired fragrances against the original and give you all my thoughts. So Babycat is actually good, you guys. Like, I did buy this off of someone, a decant off of Mercari. I don't know how long she's had her bottle, if there's any additional maceration or richness that comes with this, but I get so much vanilla in here. There's a smokiness, a woodsiness, a pepperiness, but I get vanilla in this fragrance. So when I've heard other people talk about this is a great vanilla, I didn't really fully understand it because all I had was the inspired fragrance, which is Rifacat, and I will go into that one in a moment. The notes for Babycat are going to be a black and pink pepper in the top, elemi, and in the mid there's olibanum, saffron. In the base there's bourbon, vanilla, suede, and cedar. I also have heard several people say that this has incense in it. I can absolutely smell that. It's not a smoky incense. It's a definite like sweet incense, if you will. And I think that's what I'm actually smelling, what is carrying over in combining with the vanilla to give it that sweet smell. But this is so good. It's so rich. It's so refined. And baby, the longevity on this thing is powerful. It's powerful on the skin. It's powerful on the clothes. This is the type of fragrance that I feel like I'm looking for when it comes to finding something different, something unique, something with depth that's going to last, that's going to, you know, disturb the senses in the best of ways. So full bottle is definitely on her way, a Babycat. This is good. Very, very good. I would say if you're interested in this, get a decant, see how you feel. I don't think you will be disappointed, especially if you're looking for something with some great depth, some vanilla, a little spiciness, a little incense. And it's not incense like bam, hit you in the face. It's good. It's refined. This is real good. Up next is our beloved Rifacat by Paris Corner. Paris Corner been out here doing her thing with these inspired fragrances. So there is also pink and black pepper at the top, along with elemi. There's olibanum, saffron in the middle, and vanilla and cedar in the base. There is no incense listed on Fragrantica or on the bottle, I don't believe. Let me see. Let me give it a quick run through. No incense listed. Now, after smelling Babycat, this one feels and smells a little more smoky and not as sweet as Babycat. But it's still good. It's still really, really close. I'm glad I have both. I will say that if you have this and this might feel a little bit peppery or spicy or a little, I don't want to say harder, but just not as sweet as you would have hoped, you might be surprised that Babycat, the original, will actually give you a little bit more vanillic vibes than this one. But this is still really good. I'm still gonna wear her and Babycat. I might be mixing them. This is good, y'all. This is becoming a scent profile that I thoroughly enjoy, and for me these are great bases for mixing and also wearing alone. Okay, so this next inspired fragrance, I was watching, oh my goodness, I can't think of her name. I will try and put it down in the comments, but I was watching someone else's channel and she showed by a French Avenue this fragrance here called Fiert. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but this fragrance, y'all, to be honest, to me smells closer to Babycat than Rifacat. The notes are incense, tobacco, and saffron in the top. In the mid, there's spices, elemi, cedarwood, and in the base, there's vanilla, tonka, and benzoin. To me, this gives more of the vanilla vibe that Babycat actually gives. This doesn't list black and pink pepper like the other two fragrances, but it does say spicy notes, so I can only imagine that pepper is mixed in there. But this absolutely gives the vanilla. It gives the incense. Oh my gosh, it's airy. It's, I don't want to say chocolatey because that's sending the wrong message, but it's deep, dark vanilla, but not caramel. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you can get a sample of this, I highly recommend this. Highly recommend getting a sample of this one. This one is a little more expensive than Rifakat. I want to say Rifakat is about $25. This one, I want to say ran me probably closer to $50. So sample this one if you can. Sample a Babycat, or if you already have Babycat and Rifakat, sample this and see what you think. But for me and my nose, I feel like this is closer in the vanillic airy vibes of Babycat, and with the Rifakat, it gives you more of the depth and spiciness, like that peppery note that comes with Babycat. With regards to these two inspired fragrances, in my humble opinion, they are both close and good for different reasons. This is going to lean more towards that vanillic vibe that you get from Babycat. It has the airiness that you get as well, but with Rifakat, you're getting more depth and the peppery spiciness. I always compare things, you know, more masculine, more feminine. I would say this is probably a little bit more feminine, and this would lean more masculine, just to give you an idea of where these two sit. So this is a little sweeter. This is a little spicier, but both very, very good alternatives to Babycat if you don't want to spend the $500 on the bottle. Okay, now I do know I seen on Joma Shop that they had Babycat for sale. I am ordering mine as soon as I stop filming so that y'all don't go and get this before I do. But if you were interested, you're looking to get a gift or get a refill, it's the 4.2 ounce bottle. It's under $300, so you're saving like $200. Fantastic deal. So again, these are great, both of them. If you're looking for something a little more heady, a little more spicy, a little more oomph, she got you. If you're looking for a Babycat, this is a little closer to the sweetness vibes, Fiat got you. Okay, check them out. This last fragrance that I have is a very sensual, beautiful, unique fragrance. And the reason I put it last is because I actually have a connection with the inspired fragrance. So I just wanted to save it for last. But it's Dries Van Noten's Soy Melekis. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Pray for me, y'all. But at either rate, there is black currant and bergamot in the top. There's silk and rose in the mid, and cacao and hazelnut in the base. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It's very sensual. It's somewhat creamy, nutty, romantic, and fresh and airy as well. I think that's coming from the top, the bergamot, as well as the beautiful rose. Like this, to me, could be like a wedding scent, like an afternoon, evening wedding. It's special occasion. It's, I'm going to church and I need to sit next to the deacon. It's beautiful, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's an absolute beautiful fragrance. And I also love the bottle. It kind of gives a little soapy vibe, if you will, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way at all. I love this fragrance. Now, the inspiration is from a Lattafa, the Pride collection called Peace and Love. Does that sound familiar, y'all? Yes, it does. I say it at the end of every single video, and I'll tell you why later. So the note breakdown for this fragrance is bergamot, almond, and blackcurrant at the top. There's rose and tuberose in the mid, and there's also sandalwood, heliotrope, and vanilla in the base. This fragrance on the card, they actually don't smell that similar. On the skin, they do. They absolutely do. I will say that Lattafa's version to me is creamier. There's a creamier feeling with this, and honestly, this outperforms Dries Van Noten's original. And I mean outperforms to the point to where I still have the testers from 4 days ago, and you smell nothing on the one from Dries Van Noten, and you still smell Lattafa's Peace and Love. So here are my two cards. Don't mind my handwriting, but on this one I put the OG, if you can see that. Terrible G. And on this one I put Dupe. Okay? I still smell very faintly, but it smells like a vanillic, creamy fragrance. And I think that's coming from the nuttiness, whatever nuts are in this fragrance. It is powerful. It's powerful on the skin. Clearly it's powerful on this card 4 days later. The original. If I smelled really hard, I could smell something, but I would not be able to say, oh my gosh, that's Suy Malakis from Dries Van Noten. Not at all. Not at all. But this is a very, very, very prominent, milky, nutty fragrance on this card. And you absolutely get that on your skin. I am in love with this. Now, I will say that once I'm done with this, I'm still going to get the original because I got to have it. I got to have it. It's a little bit brighter, I would say, in the wearing experience. Lattafa gets a little creamy quickly. So I feel like I could probably wear this out, you know, in the colder months because it gives it that comforting, milky vibe. And then this one would be good for year round, of course, but I think it would perform really, really well spring, summer, and even fall. But I think this will definitely be hitting on something in the winter, okay? But this is a phenomenal dupe. It took me a little minute to get my hands on it. The price point of this is a little higher than some of these other ones. I want to say this is closer to the Liquid Brawn by Fragrance World in the $75-$80 range, just because it's new. It's kind of hard to get a hold of, and but it's duping very well. Very, very, very well. You have them on both side by side. Who's gonna know unless you tell them? I promise you. I promise you. But you will get more of a creamier experience when you're sniffing it. And Dries, she gonna leave you in about 6 hours. Lattafa's Peace and Love, she gonna be with you like Amouage guidance all day and all night, next day, next week, and clearly a couple days later on a test card. So I would say test this out if you've been interested in that fragrance, in Dries Van Noten Suy Malakis. If you've been interested in it, ooh, baby, try this out. Get your life. You're gonna save some money. I promise you, this is a good one. Now, with regards to why I feel connected to this fragrance, I actually put it up here, right there. Peace and Love is actually the meaning of my middle name, my daughter's middle name, which is Nelijah Amor. My middle name is Nelijah. It means peace, And of course, amour means love. So that's why I say that at the end of every video. And when I seen the name of this fragrance, I was like, I got to have this. This is the name of my channel. They made a perfume for me and my channel. Thank you, Latafa. I appreciate you. But I had to have this. I told myself, I don't care if I like the fragrance or not. I'm coming home with the bottle, and she going up there on display. Well, that's the history behind, you know, the name of my channel, and that is the connection that I have with this bottle. So this was definitely a pleasant surprise, and also a great dupe. Y'all, I am tired. I am tired of talking. I'm gonna have a lot of editing to do with these videos. But I am so excited to bring this to you guys. I have been testing these out for a while. I've been ordering, wearing, seeing how I feel, writing down my notes and thoughts. And I hope that this has been helpful for you guys in trying to decide which perfume do you want to grab if you've been thinking about it. Just to get my perspective on, you know, the inspired fragrances versus the originals. And yeah, so drop me a line down below. Let me know if you have any of these, what you think of the dupes versus the originals, or if you're considering picking any of these up. And please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Again, I am trying to grow to 2,000 by the end of the year. Won't you help me do that? And I hope you are enjoying the content in order to be able to do so. And with that said, make sure that you are being kind to yourself. Make sure you are being kind to others. And peace and love, y'all. The world needs it. Bye.